Tonight's stories come from real people sharing moments they never expected to live through. Some are wholesome, some are painful. Some feel like karma doing its job quietly. You don't need to focus. You don't need to remember everything. Just listen and let your mind rest. We'll begin with a story about illness, kindness, and a secret that stayed hidden for 2 years. The heating pad. In 2023, I was diagnosed with stage 3 kidney cancer. It came suddenly. One moment I was living my normal life, and the next, everything revolved around surgeries, recovery, and learning how to exist in my body again. I lost a kidney. My husband took a leave of absence from work just to help me heal. A few months later, we took in an 18-year-old girl from our church. She was couch hopping, unsafe situations, no stability. We offered her our spare bedroom, rent-free, no pressure. While she stayed with us, small things began disappearing. A borrowed item here, something misplaced there. One thing hurt the most, the heating pad my husband bought during my recovery. 2 years passed. I was pregnant with our 4th child. My back hurt constantly. I pulled out that same heating pad. I told my husband how grateful I was, and he went quiet. He admitted he lied. The original heating pad was never found. He replaced it, hid it in her leftover belongings, just so I wouldn't think badly of someone we tried to help. And somehow, that made me love him more. Let's slow down for a moment, take a breath. The next story is about karma and learning empathy the hard way. I was fatphobic until I wasn't. I'm not proud of this, but for most of my life, I was very fatphobic. I was always thin or average without much effort. I didn't really watch what I ate. I didn't struggle with my weight. And because of that, I thought everyone else's weight was their own fault. I was loud about it too, especially toward my older sister and my mother, who have always been overweight. I made comments. I gave unsolicited advice. I genuinely believed that if they just exercised more, or stopped eating junk food, they'd be fine. I didn't understand why they let themselves go. At a time, I thought I was being honest. Looking back, I was just being cruel. Then COVID happened. Lockdown started. I was forced to work from home. All my usual outlets disappeared overnight. No dancing, no clubbing, no social life. I was alone, stressed, bored, and suddenly food became comfort. For the first time in my life, I had to actually think about what I ate. And I didn't handle it well. I ate when I was anxious. I ate when I was bored. I ate when I felt lonely. The weight started creeping on slowly at first, then faster. By the end of 2025, I weighed over 300 pounds. I'm 5 feet 6 inches. I was heavier than both my sister and my mother. I was embarrassed, ashamed, and honestly, shocked. Only then did it click. Maintaining your weight isn't easy. Losing weight isn't simple. And willpower alone doesn't fix everything. For the first time, I understood how hard it actually is. My grandmother said I had it coming. She told me that since my mother and sister were overweight, it was bound to happen to me too. I don't know if that's true, but part of me feels like this was karma, like I was punished for how I treated the people I loved. I'm in therapy now. My therapist says I use food to regulate my emotions. We're working on healthier coping mechanisms. I apologize to my sister. She still calls me out sometimes. And honestly, she has every right to. My mom doesn't bring it up much. She just worries about my health. I don't judge people anymore because now I know. You never really understand someone's struggle until it becomes your own. Let's take a moment before the next story. I'm only 22, and I already hate the life I've lived. I don't even know why I'm writing this. I usually keep everything to myself. I'm only 22 years old, but I hate the life I've lived so far. I hate who I've become. I tell myself I'm still young, that I have time. But deep down, I feel like I've already wasted something important. My childhood wasn't easy. There was war, poverty, a family that loved each other but was deeply dysfunctional. For a long time, I blamed my circumstances. But the truth is, what brought me here were my own decisions. I learned early on how to mentally escape. If something hurt and I couldn't change it, I pushed it away. I told myself I was sad because I was in a new country, then because I didn't know the language, then because I needed friends, hobbies, good grades. Each time I fixed one thing, the emptiness stayed. Eventually, I reunited with my family. For a few days, I felt peace. Then it came back, stronger than before. I went through the cycle again. Language, friends, school. Nothing worked. So I stopped trying. I went into autopilot. I finished high school, got into university. But none of it felt like an achievement. I knew I could do better. And that made it worse. I don't even remember why I made some of the choices I did. I'm behind in school now, and the shame eats at me. The only thing that ever gave me peace was a high school crush. We understood each other completely. I knew she liked me back, but I was in such a dark place that I told myself I'd try later. Later never came. That regret still follows me. A year ago, something snapped. I tried to change. I really did. But now, 1 year later, I feel myself slipping back again. And that's terrifying. The worst part is knowing I was given opportunities others would die for, and I wasted them. The emptiness never leaves, even when I'm surrounded by people I care about. But I think I have one more try left in me. This time, I want to go all in. I want to become someone my younger self would be proud of. I'm writing this so I can look back in 1 year and see where I am. If there's an update, I hope it's a good one. That was heavy. Let's take a moment, breathe, and keep going. This next one is messy. The bridesmaid who tried to control my sister's wedding. My parents gave my sister a choice. They offered her a set amount of money, either to pay for a wedding or to help her get started with a house. My sister chose the house. It was the smarter choice, but it meant the wedding would be small, simple, and mostly paid for by her. I'm her older sister. She asked me to be her maid of honor. Our brother was a groomsman. I helped wherever I could, cutting costs, coordinating details, making sure she didn't feel overwhelmed. Everything was fine until Anastasia entered the picture. Anastasia was one of her bridesmaids, a college friend. I never liked her. She had this way of being rude while pretending she was just being honest. But it wasn't my wedding, so I stayed polite. At a small get-together my sister hosted, Anastasia made a comment to her boyfriend. She said she was surprised by my sister's bridesmaids, and that if she were getting married, she'd make sure her bridesmaids were thin, young, and pretty. She said it loudly, in front of me. It was obviously directed at me. I didn't react. I'm comfortable with how I look. But I noticed it. That was the first red flag. The bridal shower came next. I helped plan it with cousins. She suddenly booked a vacation during the shower, then told another bridesmaid it was family only and that she wasn't welcome. She also posted a Facebook link about the dumbest games played at bridal showers. Still, I said nothing. Then came the bachelorette party. I was told it would be on the 10th, at a club literally down the street from me. I actually own part of that business. I was excited. Days later, she messaged me saying the party was actually on the 17th, at a different location, with mall shopping and a male strip club. I had already posted publicly that I'd be out of town on the 17th. So I said I was sad I'd miss it. On the afternoon of the 10th, my sister posted on Facebook. She'd been kidnapped for her surprise bachelorette party at my club. Another bridesmaid messaged me asking what I could do to make the night special. She thought I wasn't interested. That's when I realized Anastasia had lied to me so I wouldn't be there. I still didn't say anything. I didn't want to stress my sister out. 3 weeks before the wedding, my sister sent me screenshots. Anastasia had been criticizing everything. The music was too cheesy. The transportation wasn't fancy enough. She wanted a limo. She wanted changes to the order of events. My sister has anxiety, and now she was spiraling. She went from being happy and excited to crying and second-guessing everything. That was it. I met my sister for breakfast. She was a mess. I gently asked if Anna's comments were the reason. She said yes. She showed me all the messages. Anna had been tearing her apart. So I finally told her everything Anna had done to me. She was horrified, then angry, then relieved. We talked for hours. I asked if she wanted Anna removed from the wedding party. She said no. She just wanted peace. Her wish was simple. She wanted Anna to leave her alone until the wedding. I took my sister's phone. I sent Anna a message. I told her all decisions were final and that my sister would be too busy to respond to messages. From now on, all communication would go through me. Then I blocked Anna on my sister's phone. Text, Messenger, Facebook. I sent Anna the same message from my own account. My sister visibly relaxed. That afternoon felt light again. I contacted every vendor, the caterer, the photographer, the DJ, even the pastor. I told them only my sister or I could make decisions. Anyone else? Ignore them. A week later, the DJ called me. Someone had tried to change things. It was Anna. The venue confirmed it too. She was still trying. It didn't work. The day of the rehearsal, Anna didn't show up. We did a full run-through without her. The pastor even adjusted things just in case she never came. Then, right as we were finishing, Anna walked in, like she was making an entrance. Everyone stared. The pastor calmly said, "Oh, you must be Anastasia. We thought you weren't coming." She shrank instantly. The next morning, Anna arrived late again. Hair wet, no makeup, dress in a bag. The stylist was already gone. Meanwhile, I answered the door, fully ready. Hair styled, makeup done, dress on. Anna was furious. She ended up pulling her hair into a ponytail. During photos, she pouted. I quietly asked the photographer to place her at the edge, just in case. Anna had pressured my sister into buying cheap jewelry from her side business. I fixed that. I rented a stunning vintage jewelry set. Real sparkle. When my sister saw it, she cried. Anna said nothing. I also hired security. Officially for the jewelry, unofficially, to make sure Anna didn't try anything. She left early. No one noticed. My sister unblocked Anastasia after the honeymoon. Anna never reached out. No apology, no congratulations, nothing. The wedding was perfect, and my sister was happy. And that's all that mattered. Let's take a moment, breathe, and keep going. Uninvited to Christmas. I'm the only openly liberal person in a very loudly mega family. On my dad's side, Christmas has always been celebrated a few days late, so everyone can attend. That's been the tradition for as long as I can remember. Over the years, I've also become more outspoken about politics. Not obnoxious, not confrontational, but clear about where I stand. And that has not gone over well with that side of the family. I've been called names, mocked, brushed off, and made into the joke more times than I can count. Still, I show up, or at least I used to. This year, while visiting my parents on Christmas Day, I casually asked if there was any update on my dad's family Christmas. I was told the date was still undecided. Turns out that wasn't true. I found out the next night that the gathering had already happened. It was hosted by my uncle, the same uncle who regularly calls me a libtard and makes a point of insulting me whenever politics come up. It was the first time he'd ever hosted Christmas at his house. And I wasn't invited. That part, honestly, didn't shock me. I expected that kind of petty behavior from him. What did shock me was that my parents went. They attended a full family Christmas at the home of someone who openly dislikes their child, knowing I hadn't been invited. and didn't say a word to me about it. I didn't find out directly. It slipped out when my mum mentioned she had presents for me from that side of the family. That's when I realized the truth. I'm especially hurt by my mother's role in this. We're very close. Or at least I thought we were. She went out of her way not to tell me, not to give me a heads up, not even to ask how I'd feel about it. I just can't wrap my head around it. If my in-laws refuse to invite my child to Christmas because of their political beliefs, I would never attend. I wouldn't sit there, exchange gifts, smile for photos, and then come home pretending everything was fine while my kid sat at home, completely unaware. But that's exactly what happened to me. Seeing the text afterward made it sink in even more. The careful wording, the omissions, the way it was hidden until it couldn't be any more. Now I'm left wondering if I'm overreacting, or if it's reasonable to feel betrayed when your own parents choose keeping the peace over standing up for you. Am I wrong for being hurt by this? Or is this one of those moments where silence says more than words ever could? That was tough. Take a moment if you need to. And if you're already asleep, I hope these stories soothe you. On to the next. I finally walked away. This is my first time posting on Reddit, so I don't really know how to start. I don't have many friends, and I didn't know who else to talk to, so I guess I'm just screaming into the void here. I was with my ex for 6 years. About a year ago, she cheated on me. She seemed genuinely remorseful, and I believed her. I agreed to try to work through it. I went to therapy to deal with the trust issues and to work on myself. I put in real effort. She didn't. I assumed she was handling things in her own way, and that eventually we'd meet somewhere in the middle. But nothing changed. Fast forward to the Sunday before Christmas. We had just gotten back from a vacation. Something felt off. She was distant, distracted. That night, we went to a party with her friends, and she spent almost the entire time glued to her phone. Every time I walked over, she'd quickly hide it. When we got home, I opened her MacBook. She had been texting the same person she'd cheated with before. Not just casual messages, intimate ones. She was talking about missing them, holding in feelings and needing to let them go. She was also making fun of me to them, sharing personal details I would never share about her with anyone. That broke something in me. I started packing my things and told her I was moving out. She begged for time, asked for milestones, promised she'd work on herself. For reasons I still don't fully understand, I agreed. On one condition. She had to start therapy before I committed to anything again. She said she would, blamed insurance, said it would kick in on the 1st of the year. It didn't. On December 30th, she texted me, saying she was going to her hometown to spend time with friends and needed space. I didn't believe her, but I also knew rebuilding trust meant letting her prove me wrong. She didn't. I checked the MacBook again. She was making plans with the same person. I checked her location. She was at the house. I also found messages where she joked with a co-worker about needing to do hoe things to relax. as if cheating was self-care. At that point, I felt numb. I'm a student, and after the first affair, I begged her not to stay if she wasn't committed. I've been trying for 10 years to finish college, and I'm finally 1 year away. I didn't have the emotional capacity for this, but I didn't get a choice. We're both turning 30. At this age, I thought people had at least some idea of what they wanted. Instead, I was strung along while my life was quietly unraveling. I'm packing my things now. I don't know when the numbness will wear off, but I do know this. I'm finally choosing myself, even if it hurts. Woo. Self-love is the best love. The next one is as follows. I won a jackpot at the casino. I still don't know how to explain this without it sounding unreal, but this is genuinely the most insane thing that's ever happened to me. Last night, completely by accident, I won the biggest jackpot available on a slot machine. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. Life-changing money, at least for someone like me. And the wildest part is, I wasn't even supposed to be there. I had missed my freeway exit on the way to somewhere else. Instead of turning around immediately, I figured I'd just pull off, clear my head for a minute, maybe grab a drink or sit somewhere quiet. There happened to be a casino right there. On a whim, with absolutely no plan, I walked in. I put a small amount into a slot machine, not expecting anything. I wasn't chasing a win. I wasn't even particularly hopeful. I just pressed the button, and then it happened. Lights, sounds, alarms going off. The screen flashing numbers that didn't feel real. People started gathering around me, strangers pointing and whispering, security showing up, attendants congratulating me. Everyone kept saying things like, "Congratulations," and "You're so lucky," and "This never happens." In that moment, I felt elated, shocked, almost detached from my own body. My hands were shaking. I remember laughing and smiling because it felt like that's what I was supposed to do. But then I turned to my right, and there was no one there, no one I knew, no one I loved, no one I could hug or look at and say, "Can you believe this?" There was no partner to celebrate with, no girlfriend squeezing my arm, no one sharing that exact moment with me, just strangers and flashing lights. And that realization hit me harder than the win itself. All of my friends are married now, or engaged, or in long-term relationships. I've never had a girlfriend, not once. Dating, for me, has been abysmal in every sense of the word. I honestly can't even remember the last time I went on a real date, or the last time a woman was interested in me in a way that was mutual. I try to be positive. I smile, I joke, I bring good energy into rooms. At least, I think I do. But somewhere along the way, it feels like I missed a memo everyone else got. Like there's some unspoken rule about connection that I just don't understand. Standing there, having just won more money than I ever imagined. All I could think was how empty it felt, not having someone to share it with. Money is exciting, sure. It removes stress, it opens doors, but it doesn't sit next to you and laugh, doesn't hug you, It doesn't look at you like you matter. The holidays have already come and gone. New Year's is right around the corner. I'll be going to a friend's New Year's party, and I already know how it's going to feel. I'll be the only single person there. Again, the odd one out, the third wheel to every couple conversation. I'm tired. I'm tired of being single. I'm tired of never having someone to share moments with. I'm tired of never feeling wanted or desired or chosen. Winning that jackpot was supposed to feel like a peak moment in my life. And in some ways, it was. But it also highlighted the one thing money can't buy, no matter how many zeros are on the check: love, connection, someone to turn to when something incredible or terrible happens. I don't regret winning. I'm grateful for it, truly. But I wish, more than anything, that when I turned to my right, someone had been there. Happy New Year. And that's where tonight's stories end. If you're still awake, take a slow breath in and let it out. You don't have to think about anything else right now. Just rest. Thank you for spending this quiet moment with me. Good night.